Meet Fetty Lang, a struggling stand-up comic who's just had the worst night of his career, and maybe the last. But tonight, he won't find his audience in a dingy club or smoky bar. He's about to discover a new stage. Fetty is about to go live.
It was open mic night at the Grin Hole, a dim, half-forgotten comedy club tucked between a pawn shop and a vape lounge on the bad side of town. The carpet smelled like spilled beer and regret. The crowd, what little there was, sat scattered in the dark, clutching drinks like shields against the awkward silence. Fetty stood under the stage light, sweating through his second-hand blazer. His punchlines landed like bricks in a pond. Nothing. A few coughs. One loud yawn. Then the heckling started. Who let their accountant on stage? Hey, bring back the guy before him. He was terrible, but at least he ended. Fetty forced a grin and powered through his last joke, a long-winded bit about peanut allergies and corporate liability insurance. When he finished, it wasn't with applause. It was with relief. His own. He stepped off the stage to a chorus of light boos and one slow, sarcastic clap. The bartender didn't even look up when Fetty approached the bar. "I'll take my cut," Fetty mumbled. The bartender laughed. "Cut of what, the silence?" Fetty tried to protest, but the bartender reached under the bar and slid a small, black card across the counter. No name. No logo. Just a web address printed in stark white. lastlaugh.net/live. "What's this?" The bartender gave a half shrug. "Some weird little video site. Underground. You bomb here, you go there. No hecklers, no lights. Just a camera and your soul. They say if the crowd likes you, you'll know." Fetty picked up the card and stared. The bartender was already walking away. Fetty pocketed it, turned toward the exit, and stepped into the cold night with nothing but a busted set and a digital invitation into the unknown. Fetty's footsteps echoed down cracked sidewalks as he walked home. The city buzzed faintly behind him. A distant hum of cars, muffled voices, a siren somewhere far off. His apartment building rose like a tired giant, windows glowing dimly in the night. Inside, the place was small, dingy, and cluttered. Old pizza boxes stacked beside a cracked lamp. A threadbare sofa sagging in the corner. Fetty dropped onto it, the weight of the night pressing down harder than ever. He stared at the ceiling, unsure. Doubt gnawed at him. Was he really cut out for this? The laughter had been a ghost tonight, chasing him like a cruel joke. Then his hand brushed against something in his pocket. The black card. He pulled it out and stared at the simple, stark text, lastlaugh.net/live. Something tugged at him. A mix of curiosity, desperation, and a whisper of hope. He pulled out his phone and typed the address. The screen blinked. Loading. When the page appeared, Fetty flinched. The website was sleek. Black background with deep crimson highlights. The logo, a cracked smiley face, half in shadow. No clutter. No ads. Just a clean interface that invited him in but warned him to beware. A feed of thumbnails lined the bottom. Silent videos of performers on bare stages. Some smiled nervously. Others stared into the camera, eyes wide with something between fear and madness. A chilling tagline pulsed at the top. Your last laugh begins here. Fetty's thumb hovered over the screen. This was no ordinary video site. This was something else. Fetty's eyes scanned the site. 2 buttons pulsed gently at the bottom of the screen. Archive videos. Live videos. He hesitated, then tapped live videos. The page shifted. A prompt appeared in the center of the screen: create a free account to begin. No email required. No social login. Just a simple form: username. Stage name. Upload face photo. He blinked. No password? The site didn't ask. Only wanted to know who he wanted to be. And what he looked like. Something about that made his skin crawl. Still, his fingers moved on their own. He typed in a name he hadn't used since high school open mic nights: Freddy Bear. He snapped a quick selfie with his front camera. Unshaven, bags under his eyes. That faint half-smile performers wear when they're pretending not to care. The submit button flashed once, then disappeared. For a moment the screen was blank. Then the live feed opened. A new world flickered to life on his phone. A grid of thumbnails loaded onto the screen. Each one was a headshot, like the one Fetty had just uploaded. Blank expressions. Nervous smiles. Eyes looking straight into the camera, as if waiting for something. Next to each thumbnail was a slightly larger video window. They played silently, showing performers in strange places. Bedrooms, basements. One in the front seat of a parked car. No stages. No clubs. People like him, trying to make it. Fetty tapped on the top left video. It expanded to full screen. A man stood in his kitchen, holding a butter knife like a microphone. He wore a bathrobe and mismatched socks. Behind him, dishes were piled high in the sink. He was mid-routine, joking about dating apps and almond milk conspiracies. The delivery was stiff. The punchlines were nothing special. Fetty raised an eyebrow. Really? Get a load of this guy, he thought. Then he saw the comment feed. It was going wild. One message after another streamed by. This guy is hilarious. Best set I've seen all week. Where did he come from? More. At the bottom of the screen, a donate button blinked. Small amounts rolled in one after another. $2, $5, $10, $25. People were paying to watch this. Fetty stared, stunned. No club, no gatekeepers, no hecklers. Just a performer and a camera. And an audience that wanted more. He sat forward, watching. For the first time in a long time, he felt something spark inside him. This could work, he whispered. Fetty watched 3 more videos. One was a woman performing from her garage, pacing between a laundry machine and a drum kit. Another was a teenager doing impressions from the passenger seat of a parked car. The last was a guy in a hoodie ranting about conspiracy theories in a tone just confident enough to pass as comedy. Every single stream had the same 2 things. Praise and money. Comments rolled in nonstop. You're killing it. Best timing I've seen. Instant follow. Take my money. You've earned it. Donations followed like clockwork. $5, $10, even $50 on one. Fetty leaned back, shaking his head. He muttered to himself. I'm at least this good. Better than a guy with a spatula mic and no punchlines. It felt like he'd struck gold. No waiting for gigs. No passing out flyers. Just log in, turn on a camera, and start talking. He tapped the back button, returning to the main menu. Curiosity tugged at him. What were the archived videos like? The best of the best, maybe. The ones who made it. He tapped the Archive Videos tab. But instead of a list, a message appeared in bold white letters. You must go live and receive at least 10 likes to gain access to the archives. Fetty stared at the screen. A challenge? A gate? Or a test? He swallowed hard. 10 likes. That's all it would take. He wasn't afraid of bombing. Not anymore. He was afraid of not trying. Fetty ended the stream with a trembling smile. He couldn't believe what had just happened. The likes poured in. Dozens in the first minute, hundreds before he'd even finished. Comments flowed like a waterfall of praise. You're the real deal. Freddie Bear for president. Where have you been hiding? Dude, this is gold. And the money. That little donation icon had blinked nonstop. $5, $10, even $50 gifts. He was stunned. He hadn't even made it through all his material. He sat back in the cheap wooden chair he'd dragged to the center of his living room, blinking at the final tally. The camera went black. A soft chime echoed through his phone. A pop-up filled the screen. You now have access to the archives. Fetty smiled. He hadn't expected that so fast. Maybe it was just a perk for high-performing streamers. Or maybe he'd been that good. Curious, he tapped the home icon. The screen shifted. The archives tab was glowing now, pulsing faintly as if it were alive. He hesitated, then touched it. Everything changed. He wasn't in his apartment anymore. He was standing in a vast room, endless, stretching into blackness in every direction. The ceiling soared high above him like the sky in a dream. All around him were people, thousands of them, standing, sitting, pacing slowly. Each one held a glowing phone. No one spoke. The only sound was a strange, soft murmur. Waves of quiet laughter, scattered applause, whispered praise. Fetty turned in a slow circle. He recognized the glow of the interface on their screens. They were all watching live performances. Comedians just like him doing routines in kitchens, bathrooms, garages. He stepped forward and leaned over the shoulder of a woman in a red hoodie. Her eyes were locked on the screen in her hands. The screen showed a young man who was performing from a laundromat, making jokes about detergent and dating. She clapped silently, over and over, eyes glassy with adoration. Fetty moved on. The next person was watching someone in a tent. Another watched a teen telling dark jokes in a candlelit room, each screen different. Each person transfixed. The praise on their faces was familiar. It was the same look he'd longed to see his whole life. His heart pounded. He looked down. In his own hand was a phone. Cold. Heavy. Real. He tapped the search bar and typed in the name he'd entered when he first signed up. Freddy Bear. The moment he hit enter, a video appeared. It was his video. He hesitated only a second before pressing play. The familiar stream began. Him in his chair, his cheap mic, the crooked poster behind him. He watched himself nail the first joke, then the second. The virtual crowd loved it. Comments flooded the screen. It was exactly how he remembered it. Then he reached the end. The version of himself on screen smiled, gave a cheesy bow, and said, "That's my time, folks." The stream didn't cut. He stood up, then staggered. On screen, Fetty clutched his stomach like something had exploded inside him. He looked confused, afraid. A trickle of blood spilled from his mouth. He crumpled, collapsing out of frame. The screen held for another second. Just the empty chair, his mic still upright. Then it cut to black. Fetty dropped the phone. He staggered back, his breath caught in his throat. The people around him kept watching, unaware. He turned in a slow circle. No, no, no. This isn't real, he said. But it was. He remembered the tightening in his chest after the stream. The dizziness. The strange taste in his mouth. He'd ignored it, lost in the adrenaline. He looked down. His phone had landed face up. The screen still glowed. Comments were rolling under his own video. So good. R.I.P. legend. Freddy Bear forever. Encore? Encore? The words blurred. Something moved behind him. He turned. A boy, maybe 12, stood holding his phone. He looked up at Fetty and smiled with soft, glassy eyes. "You were my favorite," he whispered. Then turned back to his screen and started clapping. The sound was soft, empty, echoing. Fetty stepped backward, breath short. Another chime rang from his phone. A new message appeared. "Welcome to the audience." Around him, the glowing screen seemed brighter now, warmer, hungrier. Fetty tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. The darkness stretched in every direction, filled with the same quiet applause. He was part of it now, condemned to the archives, a permanent spectator, forever giving to others what he always wanted for himself.
Fetty Lang wanted fame, applause, the warmth of a crowd that finally saw his worth. And he got it. All of it. Every donation. Every last word of praise. What he didn't realize is that in this particular venue, the price of going viral is never coming back. He got everything he ever wanted, except the chance to leave. forever streaming.
We hope you enjoyed The Comedian. Subscribe to Story Stream Audio for more mind-bending stories.